Power Talk on Power 98.7.
As mentioned, joining us now is Professor Barney, Chairperson of the National Lotteries Commission, for an important conversation that speaks directly to public trust and transparency as well. In recent weeks, allegations have been swirling across social media, claims of Powerball draw manipulation and also these deeper concerns which are tied to ongoing SIU investigations around grant funding and corruption as well. This morning, we speak directly to the NLC to get clarity, the facts around this matter and accountability as well from Professor Pityana. Thank you so much for joining us, Prof. Okay, it seems we are having a bit of a challenge connecting to Professor Barney Pityana, at least for now. We will continue with our team back in studio in Houghton to connect with him for this very important conversation that speaks directly to public trust and transparency. Of course, you'd know that in recent weeks, allegations have been swirling around on social media, claims of Powerball draw manipulation and deeper concerns as well. I'm very keen to hear from you, the Power listener, as well, what you make of these recent developments around the National Lottery. The allegations are based on this recent public speculation, social media commentary regarding possible Powerball draw manipulation. And according to the statement from the NLC, from what we are gathering, these allegations have been maliciously associated with the ongoing SIU investigations on grant funding as well. But let's hear from the NLC. Professor Pityana, I do believe we have you right now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me. I've just caught the tail end of your input. Yeah.
All right. I'll give a bit of context here. A lot's been said about developments at the NLC. We are having this important conversation that speaks directly to public trust and transparency. In recent weeks, to give context, these allegations have been swirling across social media. Claims of Powerball draw manipulation, deeper concerns tied to ongoing SIU investigations around grant funding and corruption as well. So maybe to kick us off, let's start with the heart of this matter. How does the NLC respond to these recent allegations of Powerball manipulation, which are making waves on social media, I must say?
Yeah, it's sensational, isn't it? And it puts under question just about everything that people got, and it's unfair.
Unfair why? Why do you say it's unfair?
Our response is to say it actually, much of what is being said has no justification at all. Probably, the best I can say, it comes out of lack of understanding of how the system works. Now, let's put it in context. First, the National Lotteries Commission is the regulator of the lottery in this country. Ituba is the implementer, are the ones who actually run the lottery. So as a regulator, we oversee, as the National Lotteries Commission, we oversee and make sure that this is our duty in terms of the Act, that everything and all functions are done under the principles of openness and transparency, and that the interests of every participant in the National Lottery are protected. So our duty is to make sure nothing happens that would actually undermine the interests of every participant in the National Lottery. Now, here's what happens.
Yeah.
What actually happens is that everything that Ituba does is approved by the board of the National Lottery. Every week, every draw is observed by an independent official who makes sure that everything is done according to book. Every game that the lottery, that the Ituba seeks to put out is approved and tested by the National Lotteries Commission. So in every respect, Ituba is really overseen. Secondly, what I want to say in relation to the banks are also very highly regulated, as we all know, by the Prudential Authority. So the idea whether ABSA and Nedbank and not Standard Bank and FNB do not obtain. The truth of the matter is that the lottery itself is a game of chance. Nobody can predict chance which way the dice will fall. the random numbers that are being set up sound like you would actually throw a dice in your hand, and you don't control what will land. So it's the same process. The random generator does the same thing as you would have if you were just to put a dice around, and then it falls, because this is a game of chance. Now,
I got you. Prof, I quickly want to move to maybe take headlines very quickly. I will continue this critical conversation with you in a short while. I want us to explore this subject fully. But before we continue with the discussion, let's quickly hand over to Nyaka Lotifo with the latest in your news headlines.
Getting you what you need to know. Power Talk. Weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on Power 98.7.
If you're on the road this morning or heading to the airport, wherever you are across the length and breadth of this beautiful province, make note, it is 24 minutes to the hour 11 o'clock. If you've got an 11 o'clock meeting you need to get to, make sure you make it safely. Please, 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 no matter the rush. Joining us still is Professor Barney Pityana, Chairperson of the National Lotteries Commission, for an important conversation that speaks directly to issues of public trust and transparency. You'd know that in recent weeks, allegations have been swirling across social media, claims of the Powerball draw manipulation, and also deeper concerns being raised by those commenting, deeper concerns tied to ongoing SIU investigations around grant funding and corruption. So this morning we speak directly to the NLC to get clarity, the facts and accountability, and a big pleasure to have Professor Pityana joining us this morning to tell us a bit more on this issue. So Prof, when I let you go previously, you were speaking to the heart of the matter, speaking to how the NLC responds to these recent allegations of Powerball manipulation. But to help us understand, from a regulatory standpoint, what systems are currently in place to ensure that every draw is fair, secure, and tamper-proof? You did say this is a game of chance.
Thank you very much for that question. That really gets us to the heart of the matter. That is really part of what needs to be explained. Number one, Ituba and NLC are separate institutions. One is a regulator, another one is an operator. Now, as a regulator, we approve all the games, we approve all the systems and operating systems. We make sure that they are tested in terms of the technology, and they are independently tested in terms of the technology. And the lotteries run according to international standards of the World Lotteries Association. So that's a compliance measure that is actually quite important. On the part of Ituba has to report every week to the NLC, and it is overseen every week. Every draw is overseen by independent people that are neither NLC nor Ituba. Now, as far as the NLC is concerned, there are lots of measures to make sure that within the NLC there is compliance to ethical standards, and a lot of these, of course, have come up in the last few years, just simply to make sure that we can really make good the commitment that the Act requires of us, and it is that compliance measures are in place, ethical standards, lifestyle audits, and everybody who gets involved in the lottery operation is subject to all kinds of checks and balances. Equally, the machines that are being used and the games that are being used are tested regularly to make sure that the technology is up to date and it won't let you down at the last minute. And those who actually test are qualified and approved people who are approved by the World Lotteries Association. Ituba itself, if there should be any glitch in the operations at any time, is subject to fines or whatever it is by the NLC. To the best of our knowledge, we have not received any complaint, and all the complaints we handle diligently, we investigate. We have not received any complaints of the kinds that have been mentioned in the social media that you refer to. So if we were to receive any complaints, we would investigate it, thoroughly investigate it, in all fairness, and make sure that it doesn't occur again. And so it is unfair in our view to label either the operating system itself or to label Ituba for whatever reason, or indeed not the NLC, because this is a game of chance.
This is a game of chance. But with public trust at stake here, Prof, does the NLC have plans to improve transparency, perhaps by allowing greater public or independent oversight of these draws? Oh, it would seem we have lost the professor there. That line, not the most steady, but I think we did get the nub of some of the remarks being made by Professor Pityana. Of course, he joined us as the chairperson of the National Lotteries Commission for this important discussion that speaks directly to public trust and issues around transparency as well. As we continue to make sense of these allegations that have sparked a lot of, call it a lot of reaction on social media sites, also on X or Twitter, many reacting to it this morning as well. And I also want to make reference to some of the tweets as well coming from you this morning, our power listeners, interacting with this discussion around this controversy, if you will, on the national lotteries. Is it rigged? That's the question that is also emanating from this as well. Zico Smith, or he goes by the name of @RealAbleKekana or @RealAbleKekana on Twitter or X. He says that Siume, they must bring back the lotto of Nimrod Nkosi. That one was transparent, not this one that looks cooked. Yes, and it does raise an important issue here around, you know, the old versus the new. I would know that, for instance, with the current lottery, it is a digital system that's used, not the ball picking exercise that we would see, for instance, with what Zico Smith is referring to this morning, the one done by the presenter, famous presenter Nimrod Nkosi many years ago, where you'd have a manual draw done in this lotto as well. So very keen to hear more of your insights or thoughts on this very contentious issue as well, sparking furore, if you will, on social media. Some asking, I mean, we've spent so much money over the years betting on the lotto, but yet it would seem, you know, the outcome this time around is very dubious. At least that's what some of our listeners are hinting at this morning. But very good morning to you, the power listener. In a short while, we turn our focus to South Africa's financial sector, where allegations of rand manipulation are also emerging this morning. We will be speaking in a short while. I do see him hanging on the line there, Reg Nkosi. He's an economist to help us make sense, to unpack this very important issue. The time now is 43 minutes to the hour 11 o'clock, and this is Power Talk with myself and Tlantla Sihume. Of course, in for Mbuyiseni Ndlozi this morning, Dr. Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, keeping the seat warm, keeping the discussion going as well, and keeping this very important interaction between you and myself, the power listener, this morning, keeping the conversation very, very lively. We continue in a short while.